Hey everybody, welcome to Kats Creations, live on Friday night. It is April 19th. Yeah, 5 o'clock p.m. on the West Coast, 8 o'clock for you East Coasters, 7 p.m. for your Central people. And tonight, we're going patriotic. Because I don't know if you guys follow the retail, that's what I always tell you, that's the hint when people go, what should you be making? Simple answer is, what are the stores stocking? Are the stores putting out their patriotic stuff? As he's tying you down. Are the stores putting out their patriotic stuff? Look at Hobby Lobby, look at Joann's, look at Michael's, look at all the places you shop. And if they're putting out patriotic, then you need to be moving in that direction. Why? Because Easter is this Sunday, so you shouldn't be making any more Easter stuff because Easter's pretty much over and done. Unless you're making it for someone who's picking it up this weekend, but even still, they're only going to be able to put it out for a day. So you always want to make sure you're thinking about a month to 2 months out. So while this will fall in line 6 weeks away for Memorial Day, it's also available for July 4th, Labor Day, Veterans Day, or any day that somebody has Americana or red, white, blue traditional decor in their house. So they would appreciate having this in their house year round. So that's why we are going Americana. I don't know if you guys saw the post that I put out a while ago saying, are you guys more traditional, which is standard red, white, and blue, or are you more vintage Americana, which is more of your muted, like a burgundy, a darker navy, and then like a tan or a tea stained white. So it was pretty much split. And I was just sharing with Steve today that one of my most popular pins on Pinterest right now is it's a patriotic wreath. It's a floral grapevine wreath with an eagle on it that I did as a custom order. So I was hoping that the items that I had sent away for last week would be here at least by today, but they didn't show up. So don't know if they're lost in transit. So this is my backup plan. Always have a backup plan for your lives. So we're doing Americana. We're going to be using 11-inch flags, Pip Berries, which is kind of honing in that very vintage rustic feel. We're going to be doing some ribbons and adding a wooden star to the wreath. But other than that, it's going to stay relatively simple. But that's the whole idea behind rustic, country, primitive. All those words kind of fall in line with this design. Yep. So he's just doing this.
Yep.
So I'm assuming there's people there, correct?
Yeah. Gail, Audrey,
Hi, Gail.
Peggy, Teresa, Susan, Trisha, Shirley, Jan, Brenda, Dawn, Jessica, Deborah, Teresa, Janet, Patty, Simone, Shirley. Got a lot of gals on already.
And here's Boba, which Boba hasn't jumped up on the counter in a long time.
Yeah.
Go around the counter because your cookies are over that side. He's like looking at me going, no, they're not. I didn't know where they are. Are there not anymore over there by you?
No, I already gave them out to everybody.
Okay, go fetch
Hi,
that
gals.
one.
So, hi, gals, just joining.
So this is what we're doing. Thank you for joining us on Friday night. I know a lot of you have got plans for the weekend, having family and friends over for Sunday. So our private group live this Sunday is going to be postponed. We're just going to push it into the following week because Steve and I obviously want to hang out with our family and friends on Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. So Sunday at 5 for us is dinner time. For everybody else on the East and Central Coast, you're like, we're already done. We're ready to unwind. So it's just going to give us a little bit of a break. So with that being said, let me walk you through how simple this design is as I keep feeding cookies to my cats. I feel like they're birds. This is an 18-inch grapevine, and this grapevine came from Joann's. So I made a special trip to go to Joann's. Why? Because Joann's has really good quality grapevines. Not a lot of debris, as you guys can see. I haven't even cleaned this one up. Doesn't have the leaves, doesn't have the twigs, doesn't have a lot of the, even when you're kind of working this out, you don't have that much of a mess because it's pretty good. It's pretty condensed. And so we're just going to clean this up, and then we're going to start to embellish it a little bit, but still keep the rustic wood-like feel of this. So Joann's for the Grapevine, and it's 18 inches. So like you guys have seen me do before, I think I was working on one side of this. You're going to go through the top, and you're just going to snip off all the pieces that are protruding, that don't look really pretty. A lot of them are just little twigs or pieces that maybe when they were unpacked out of the box, pieces of it kind of broke off. Like that one just flew. So you want it to kind of have a nice, pleasing aesthetic. And that's why I opted to go to Joann's, because I knew I wasn't going to have to sit here with tweezers. This is what you guys don't see before we go live, is I'm sitting here pulling the grapevine leaves out with tweezers because I don't think it looks that good. So feel free to ask me any random questions you have.
Susan, no problem. She says, I'm in the midst of storms and tornado warnings. May lose you. Be safe.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for joining us in the midst of that.
Judy said, I got my purple rosary today. Thank you. It is gorgeous. Her favorite color.
I know. I loved that wreath. I was like, oh no.
Yep. And then a lot of gals are replying to Gail saying, hope she's doing well. Rhonda was funny. She's all, stop the presses. Time to watch Cat. Yippee.
I know. It was like, I was talking to Gail on the phone this morning, and she was like, I have to go take my pain meds after physical therapy because I have to make sure I get my rest in before the live at 5. So it was kind of nice. So. And
then a lot of gals saying, I hope you guys have a good weekend, Sandra, everybody. And Judy asks, when should I start ordering mesh for Christmas?
I would start now. You know why? Because and that was another topic for a conversation, is we were going through all the different online vendors and looking at what is still out of stock. Like yellow deco mesh, unless you want the value mesh, meaning it does not have any of the foil bands through it, it's just very plain deco mesh. Unless you go to your local craft store, but even then you're dealing with low quality, yellow is still out of stock. I went to all the places I could remotely think of to come up with 10-inch yellow deco mesh, and it's out. So that means that people have bought it for all the lemonade wreaths, for all the bumblebee wreaths, for all the, I don't know, anything else you could think of along the line for summer. Yellow, it's crazy. Yellow is the commodity, but I'm guessing, okay, 2 to 3 months out, that puts us into July, which is why there's Patriotic out. Right after that, we're going to get into back to school, and then starting to get into early summer. Well, even in July, guys, remember how we talked about 2 months out, Christmas in July? It doesn't hurt to have a few Christmas items in, but if it was me, I would have red, white, and green, all your variant shades that you possibly could ever want. I would be ordering them now. I would be going online looking for that 1.5-inch ribbon and ordering all the Christmas stuff you can get your hands on. The great thing is a lot of these online retailers have all that Christmas stuff on sale. So you can take advantage of a clearance price and technically buy early.
Yep. Hi, Bobby. Bobby's on.
Hi, Bobby.
Yeah, she said technically a lot of the stuff that she orders for Christmas is usually around July, August.
Right, because, and we had talked about that even in our private group. It's like, what should we be making now? And it's like, well, if we're making Patriotic for Memorial Day / July, you guys know Hallmark Channel rolls with their Christmas in July theme. So some people, the early people who are very well organized on their shopping, will start to shop for all of their stuff in July. I have to go pull my records and look and see, did I sell any Christmas stuff in July? But it's a perfect opportunity to start stocking up. I would not wait. Not after what I saw this year, which is nobody had spring when people wanted Easter stuff. Pinks were out, blues were out, purples were out. They're just starting to get some of that back in, but take advantage and shop now. Don't wait, because I guarantee if you wait till after summer, all of your orange for Halloween's going to be gone. All of your brown for the fall stuff's already going to be taken. So shop early. And then if you have a lot of that stuff left over from last year, you're just ahead of the curve.
And Bobby's one of our ribbon suppliers from Perpetual Ribbons.
Yeah, so Bobby is perfect for if you can't find it anywhere else on your major, like you want you're gonna buy 2 or 3 rolls of ribbon, or you just are in a crunch. I really need Magnolia 2.5-inch ribbon. Go look on her site. It's Perpetual Ribbons on Etsy. I know she's working on getting her store up, and then it'll be perpetualribbons.com, I believe.
I think so.
Yeah. So she is if I need a ribbon and I don't want to look like everybody else's, I go to Bobby. Or if I need a ribbon and nobody has it, I go to Bobby.
We have so much ribbon though, we've been trying to get rid of what we have.
I know, right?
Trying to use what you have. Yeah.
I have been trying to use what I have, and I need to go back through and cycle because I still have Valentine's up there, and I have my Patriotic and Summers just sitting on the floor in my craft room. So I'm just double dipping from that. So
Hi gals, just joining.
I placed an order today. What did I order today?
Deco mesh.
I ordered Deco mesh. White.
Didn't order the dark red.
I didn't order dark red. I didn't order burgundy. I like completely spaced until Steve goes, "Did you order burgundy?" I was like, "No, I didn't." But I ordered the dark navy blue, that blue, the green because it's Christmas green. What else? White. 2 different kinds of white. Lavender. Because I wanted lavender. I've been out of lavender Deco mesh for a long time. Tried to find the yellow.
Bobby said her Shopify will be up before May 1st.
Oh, yay. So we can, are you still going to keep your Etsy store open now? Because I know that some people are diehard Etsy people. And then some people are like, no, I'm going to shut my store down. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Etsy this year. Because they're making an awful lot of changes. Some of them good.
Looks pretty clean.
I know. But I'm taking some of this is the back side. Let me make sure. That did go in my glue pot.
Jan said, hey, that just means you get to do another order. That piece went in your glue pot?
Yeah, it totally went in my glue pot. Okay, so I know that this was my front because I had this weird piece of, and the only reason I'm keeping it here is because I knew that this was my front top. So I will pull that out when I'm done. But generally what you want to do is just kind of run your hands along your grapevine wreath, kind of front and back. Look for areas where, if it was to be put on a customer's door, where that might rub. So the back's really good. I think I took care of most of the top. Yeah, we're done. So if you look at the debris field from this compared to all the other ones, this is small compared to like I usually have twigs and grass and everything else. So we'll clean this up and then we'll start embellishing.
I know there's some women who probably don't even really clean it. They just.
I have to clean it. It just, I don't know. You could just leave it that way and throw it on, start putting your stuff in there, but okay. So this is the flag that we're using. This is it says it's 11 inch, but I don't think so. This is 18 inches.
It might be the flag itself is 11 inches.
No, because they said 11 by 6.
Yeah, right. That's just the flag, not the stick.
No, they were talking about the stick too. So look, well, 11
by 6.
But why wouldn't they include the stick? Because if you're,
I know they didn't.
if we were how would you measure this? Would you go from here to here? I would be like the stick for the flag is X, and the flag itself is 11 by 6.
Bobby said she's going to keep her Etsy open, but she said it'll be better to order on a new Shopify.
Awesome. All right, so now we know how to order.
Lenore asked, was it easy to set up your Shopify store?
No.
No.
Don't be mystified. Or, like, I think any of those sites, Bobby can probably attest to this too. What they tell you about how easy it is to set it up is not that easy.
Yeah, she actually replied, said, no, it wasn't easy at all.
No.
I have over 1,000 listings, though.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter. I mean,
It's still
you
tough
would
to
think
list,
it's like
so.
Etsy, right? You go in, you add your pictures, you fill out the fields, and you're good. No, not the case. No. I had to hire someone to just go in who's really, really good at that, and just set everything up for me. I'm like, go to my Etsy shop. I want it to look like my Etsy shop. I just want it simple and easy to use. So, yeah, not as easy as you think. So, what we kind of want is I'm slanting my flag. I'll spin around so you guys can see it. I want it, you're looking at it the way it's going to hang on the door. So the flag is going to kind of cascade to
The right.
the right. And the way I liked it is when I was playing with it is I kind of like my flag a little bit wavy. So I was kind of playing with it how I wanted it to kind of like that. I want it to kind of look wrinkly, like not perfectly straight. Just kind of like the wind's whipping through it. So I'm going to go ahead and attach the flag here. So what I'm going to do is just dip the end of it in my glue skillet, slide it in there so that'll dry. And then what I'm going to do is at the very top of the flag, I'm going to take wire and wire it, because if not, even though it's glued here, you still have movement here. So I want to make sure it doesn't move. So I'm pretty content with where that's going to go. And I really don't want to lose my spot. So I'm just going to use my pipe cleaner as my placeholder. And I thought maybe I was going to have to take some off the bottom, but I really don't. As you guys can see, I have a really big dab of glue. So I'm just going to attach that in there.
Yeah, it's almost at the bottom.
I know, I'm going to pull and stuff. There we go. Okay. That's why you got to keep your pipe cleaner in place. So I'm going to let that dry. It looks like it's going to kind of try to drip onto my
Sure,
map.
that's kind of a good question. And she asked, could you Mod Podge the flag like that so keep the wave shape you want?
Oh, I don't know. That's beyond my skill set. I don't know how to do something like that. I just know how to put it in there. If you did it, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Or you could probably starch it.
Maybe. So I'm just taking some floral wire. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wire it right underneath the base. So I have like this, I don't know, it's like a brownish rusted, it's 26-inch gauge wire. So I'm just going to wire it here because I don't want it to slide around. And yeah, I mean, you could, I guess it would just be, it would depend on the buyer. Like if they want it to stay wrinkly, maybe they don't want it to stay wrinkly, maybe they want it fluid. So I'm just going to let mine stay fluid, but I'm going to kind of, once I put everything in it, I'm going to kind of pose it, and that's how I would do it for pictures. So I have, this came on a bunch of Pip Berries I had a long time ago when I was doing a lot of primitive wreaths. It's a rusted star, so I'm actually going to add this, because it's got wires in it, I'm going to add this to the top of my flag. I'm just embellishing. The primitive look would be defined as the old, I guess you'd call it
Rustic?
rusty. Yeah, rusty. Oh my God. I need coffee still, Gail. Coffee. Rustic, country, chic, shabby chic, all that stuff. Back in the day when that's what it was called, it's now called primitive, which is this look that we're attempting to pull off.
Yeah, and Kat's new site, her Shopify is www.KatsCreationsNMore.com.
Yeah, because Etsy 20 letters can't have and A-N-D. So we just did N more. So that'll be changing. Okay, so got the flag positioned. Now what we're gonna do is there's 4 elements. There's our flag, which came from, I wanna say it came from Craft Outlet, because I did look up flags that are on Craft Outlet. They're 11 by 6. So Craft Outlet carries them. I didn't pull my invoice, but it looks like that's where I got them from. I don't know if Hobby Lobby has them. I think they just have their traditional. So we're going to be adding Pip Berries, a bow, and then a wooden star. And then that's basically it. So it's going to be a short and sweet, pretty wreath. So Pip Berries. What are they? Why do people like them? Because they look cool, I think. So the good thing right now, I went over to Hobby Lobby yesterday. Why did I go to Hobby Lobby? Oh, to get wooden balls. And I just happened to browse. I was like going through their Easter section, and they have Pip Berries. So these ones are red, white, and blue. And I want to say these are $3.99. So obviously if you wait a little bit, they'll put them on 40% off, but even still at $3.99, they're not bad for this many. So they have these at Hobby Lobby. We're gonna use some of these in our wreath, but the ones I really, really like are what they call the authentic Pip Berries, and you have to find them on Etsy through a lot of the country retailers. And one of my favorites is called Designs by Heartland, or Heartland Designs, and that's where I get all of my, like, these are really dark burgundy. These would have been awesome to use, and I'm gonna use some of these, but they have them in like the dark burgundy. They have them in what's called an ivory. This is like an ivory, mustard, and burgundy. I use these quite a bit. They had them at Christmas time in a green, ivory, and red, so they're really good. And the difference, here's how I can tell a true quality Pip Berry versus just something to get by, is if you take one of these Pip Berries and you cut them off of the main stem, and we'll do the same with the one from Hobby Lobby. Let's find one of these guys. Don't want the whole thing, just one. Let's take the one at the bottom, like this. You should be able to, for effect, wrap them around a pencil, and that creates a fuller look for a Pip Berry. Otherwise they just lay straight, they lay static. So what you want to do is be able to wrap them around your finger. Well, here's the ones from Hobby Lobby. They don't stay rolled. No matter how hard you try to get it to bend into shape, they don't stay bent. The good quality ones, the more expensive ones, will allow you to do it perfectly, and then they will hold their shape. So if you were to take this and you needed to wrap it around a vine, or you wanted it just to create some more movement, these ones are going to be worth their money, but they're going to be about twice. They're about $8, $9 for just a small little bunch. So they're pretty expensive, but they're good quality Pip Berries. So there's the difference between your Pip Berries. What?
No, that's interesting to know. That's
Pip Berry story?
Yeah,
and they come from the pit plant, right?
A lot of gals wouldn't know that.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. Is I was like, oh, if you want to create a fuller look without having to use a ton, you just you twist them rather than just laying them like this one on a wreath. You don't get much movement. It kind of gets lost. But if you roll them, it looks really nice. So you use less of them, but create a better look. So you get what you pay for, I guess, right?
Yep.
So do you guys have any other questions?
A lot of gals just joining on, still hi, you know, so they're all saying they're glad they caught you live. Peggy said you could use fabric stiffener for the flag fabric.
That's true. Yep. We could do that.
And Leslie said hi. And thank you for sharing, Leslie. Yeah, feel free to share. This is a Friday night group, so you can share all you want.
Okay.
Sandra said thanks for the tip.
On the Pip Berries.
On the Pip Berries,
Pip Berry tip, right.
Hi, Sarome. She said she gives us a treat when she gets to join your live.
Thank you.
And Diana said, love the rose on the door behind you.
Oh, my blue rose. You know what's funny is the longest time I wanted blue roses in my garden, and so you would look and you check the florist, and the florist would sometimes say they have them. What they meant is they had a really deep, dark purple that wasn't really a blue.
Right.
So I'd go run all the way down to the florist, and then they're like, these aren't blue, they're purple.
There is no natural blue.
There is no natural blue. Right. So we're actually going to come in with our star, and we're going to add our star, but I'm going to lay in the pip berries first. And then we're going to put our bow on, and then we're going to top it off with a star. So that's exactly what it's going to look like. Short and simple.
Hi Sheila, hi Cindy, hi Jean.
I'm going to take these.
Hi Cindy, yes I zoomed in.
And I'm breaking them all down. So, and then of course the way you want to store your pip berries is roll them up in bubble wrap like this, and then you can store them in your container. Otherwise, the little berry things just find their way. And they're making
You're gonna break them all down?
This one, yes. Well, because you don't put them on like this. You would not just put them on like this. This is going nowhere. So yeah, you have to break them down, and then you can put them in the clusters that you want. So if you want to, put longer ones up towards the top, these are going to take the place of our floral. In other words. Poor Steve. You're going to break those down? Yes, I am. So, and we know here's our bow. So if we keep our hand the width of the bow, we're going to be pretty safe. So you can take these, you can run them up underneath the branches. So
Christy asked you, where did you get the flag you're using?
This one?
Yeah.
I think I got it at Craft Outlet. I looked them up on Craft Outlet, and they looked like the ones that I bought. And it seems like the item number matches.
Sherry said, hi gorgeous, so glad I caught your live.
Thank you. We're having fun making a vintage pip berry wreath. See, this is where if they were authentically good, you could position them and bend them, and then they would stay. So I'm going to actually break into these ones. I'm all about the quality. So like these ones, when I do them, if I take these and I bend them, they bend. And maybe that's the thing that people were struggling with their pip berries. Like you would go to Joann's or Michael's and people are like, my berries aren't doing anything, they just lay there. And it might be you bought inferior pip berry branches that just don't bend.
But sometimes you can just buy whatever's available. Because
Yes.
pip berries are kind of hard to find.
That's why I have to go online and find them. I'm pretty picky on what I get. Like, I just picked up the ones from Hobby Lobby because they're red, white, and blue. I thought I might have had some blue, but I didn't. So I'm just taking these and dipping them in my glue skillet, and I'm just running them up my wreath. So I'm just going to kind of layer these in on both sides. It'll kind of go a little bit further this way because we're going to stop at the flag, but we'll go a little bit longer here. So when you have the really long ones with a lot of them, I'm not going to be picky. I'm just going to start laying them in. Like normally I would just sit here and go, we'll put these ones here. And the dark make it a little hard to see where they're at. So that's why having all three colors will be beneficial. And we want movement, so I'm going to use the ones that will actually bend to go to the inside or the outside. And I'll use more of the red, white, and blue.
And asked where did you purchase the 10 stars from?
They came on a set of pip berries. They actually came on the ivory and mustard color. That there was like, I think 5 different 10 stars on there. But again,
But you can't get them from Hobby Lobby too.
the 10 stars?
Yeah.
Not like this rusted one.
I think she meant the bigger ones. like
Oh.
over on the side.
Were you referring to the one that I attached to the top of the flag, or like these ones? Hobby Lobby had this one and this one, so I bought them both because I knew that I would go a little bit more country with some of them than others.
Oh, Faith said her Dollar Tree was putting out patriotic items today. They even had some star scatters.
Ooh.
Similar to the ones Hobby Lobby has. I had to grab some.
Yes.
Jean should know that, and Jean's on. Hi, Jean.
Jean's probably like, oh, she's gonna be. Jean, I think you just need to be our regular Dollar Tree resource person. Yeah, saying, hey, everyone, I just want to let you know.
Jean, have they put the patriotic stuff out at your Dollar Tree yet?
She's probably like, some. Okay, I want this one in. This is the thing with a glue skillet, right? Because I can't put it where I need it to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's about as close as I can move it. So let me go ahead and glue these guys in. What?
Jean meant to put hello and she put hell.
She's like, hell? I didn't know I was supposed to be the resident.
Sandra Secret said that her Dollar Tree did too.
Well, I know Hobby Lobby had them, and I think I snapped a picture, but I hadn't shared it. And that was another thing I picked up while I was there. I was like, oh, they have their scatters and fillers back out.
Yep.
I will pick those up. So a lot of times I'll take these, and especially the ones that don't have Pip Berries all the way to the very end. There's another good sign of quality is
Jean said they have graduation and like hula hoop stuff, but no patriotic yet.
Really?
At her store. Well, it looks like from all the other gals who said that Dollar Tree is starting to put out the patriotic stuff, you should be getting it soon. Yeah,
I was going to say, I haven't gone to ours to see if they have it yet.
We haven't actually been to ours in a while, huh?
We went not that long ago. So, as you guys can see, I'm just taking and layering these in. Bow, go from the bow on up. So Pip Berries are just that. See how these ones don't go all the way to the top? They just stop. So I'm just cutting the ends off because it's just a stick at the end and it looks kind of unfinished. So I'm just going to have these come up about this high on this side. So this is where not time consuming, but I think you get a better overall look rather than just take a whole bunch, shove it in there and call it done. If you just take them and work with them a little at a time. Because the bow will go quick. And I want more of them at the bow. And again, like floral, as they fan out and go up, they need to thin out, not be overly thick. See, this one's got nothing on the end.
Peggy said hers has flip-flops, but no summer or patriotic yet.
Well, flip-flops are summer though, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just making sure I take all my excess glue, drop it back in the pot. And if I don't like the fact where these ones don't bend, they really don't bend at all, I'll probably end up wiring them in where I want them to stay with the rusted wire so that it'll blend better. So we'll just keep working on this side until we're finished.
Well, that's cool. She just said she's gotten 10 stars and the Pip Berries from an Amish store in Farmville, Virginia.
See, you guys
she lives in a really small town in Virginia.
Yeah. See, where do they come from? It makes you wonder. Because people look for them year round. And I always tell myself, I'm going to start buying those. When they start popping into the stores, I'm going to pick them up. Like sometimes Joann's will carry them, sometimes Michael's will have them. But now I understand they're not the same. They're not the same as what you think they are. They are the fake Pip Berries. So I'm taking these, and that's why I said these ones won't bend where I need them to bend, like floral. They just like to stay out.
Hi, gals, just joining.
You're yawning a lot. I see you.
I didn't sleep that great last night.
It's because you knew you had one more day to go, right?
Yeah.
One more day to ride it out before Friday hit. I hear you.
What?
I'll just show you. Okay. Man. Low quality. Big difference. So if I had this to go over again, I would stay with the high quality stuff over the
Pip Berries.
Yep. Because they're just not the same. Because I want them to bend, like I want them to stay in a position, and they're not staying. So that's why I'm using the darker ones to go where I need them to go. Okay, go.
Oh, I started hearing that, Jean. She says she actually has to work on Sunday.
Easter.
Yeah, that's retail, unfortunately.
Yep. That is the nature of retail's beast, right?
Yep.
They're never closed, or some places are never closed. There's some that are. So I'm going to try to pull some of these cream colored ones
Hi, gals, just joining.
from my other bunch. Because these ones will work. So I'm trying to take the ones that will bend and put them to the inside and the outside so that I can bend them as I want them to curve, like these.
Angela asked, Kat, I find the glue and my glue skillet is super stringy and a little harder than I'd expect. Do you think I need to crank up the heat?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, right now I think mine on my glue skillet is not all the way at the max, but I would say it's about 80% of where it is, where it could go. So I have it pretty high. Just enough to melt, but not enough to kind of burn the stuff. Keep doing this so I don't put stuff where I don't mean for it to go. So I've got more that'll bend so we can have some movement. As you can see, I keep grabbing the threads as they dry and plop them back in the glue skillet.
Patty asks, have you ever gotten Pip Berries that blow off your wreath? Just the berries?
No.
Not that I know. No.
No, because I think, believe it or not, using the higher quality, the more expensive ones, the only thing that will occasionally happen is if I cut them too low, they'll unwind from the stem. Yeah. And then the little ones will fall off the end. But if you glue them down, you won't have that issue.
Kayla, you said Walmart is closed on Easter.
What?
Yeah, that's what she said.
How's that possible?
I don't know.
Okay, how can Dollar Tree be open and Walmart not?
I know, right?
That just doesn't make sense.
And then Anna said hello from Thailand.
Hi, Anna.
Hi,
Thank you
Anna.
for joining us. Wow, you're
Yeah, thank you.
That's
It's gotta be
pretty far.
nighttime.
pretty far.
Jean asked, what size is your wreath? Isn't it an 18?
18 inches.
18 inch. Jean.
18-inch grapevine.
Yep.
So I want some of my Pip Berries to hang off of the side. So now what I'm doing is just kind of threading them in places where they will have a tendency of, like this one's perfect. Like that one's good right now. So now it's playing with this one and getting it to do what I want it to do. And this is where you're like, why can't they all just be the same? Why can't they all just do what they're supposed to do?
Well, Jen, I hope you're feeling better. She said just had surgery today and feeling tired.
Janet
Yeah.
McConnell?
Yep. just stopped on to say hi. We'll catch the replay.
I'm
Hope you feel
thinking
better,
of
Janet.
you and praying for you. So we need to keep Janet in prayer, peeps. Definite prayer. Okay.
And then that Sheila from Virginia said, yeah, the Amish actually make their own.
Pip berries?
Yeah, they're kind of pricey, but it's totally worth it for the quality.
So what is kind of pricey? Like, define what that looks like. Because I don't...
Is it like $10 for a bunch?
Because, I mean, the high-end pricey ones that I get are about $9 a bunch for the ones that will bend. So, like, those ones just rolled right off the bottom.
And then Diana, she only uses the Gorilla glue sticks for her glue pot. She just throws them in there and they melt.
So you can go to Amazon and they sell them by 45 count bags. So I usually just buy a bunch of them all at the same time. And then you know when you grab your last bag, it's time to order more.
Yeah, Diana, we knew that.
What's
she
that?
said if you take a blow dryer to the wreath
To the
after
glue
it's finished,
thread?
yeah, all
Yeah.
the glue threads will go away.
I've been trying to just grab it because it's a grab and go kind of thing, but I will do that at the tail end.
Night, Janet. Hope you feel better.
I'm praying
Hope you
for
recover.
Janet. Okay, so see, here's one of those things where not quite up to par at the top. So I'm actually going to tuck some to the side. I guess pip berries in this sense for this type of wreath are meant to be fireworks, is what I'm guessing. So hopefully the next time we meet, I will have, I hate to say that now, because I honestly and truly believed I was going to have what I needed for tonight. Thank God I came up with a backup plan. I'm like,
Yeah, she was supposed to have like Americana
material.
flag fabric.
Yep, and it didn't
It
show
never
up.
came in.
Nope. And then when I tried to get the tracking number, the person's like, "Oh, I didn't get a tracking number."
Okay, I said, call me a liar. I just searched and they are open this year on Easter.
What?
Walmart is.
Walmart?
Yeah. And then Kim asked, are you using 2 bundles of both types of pip berries?
Well, I'm using one type of where I want them to bend. So like the ones that I have in here on the interior, I'm using those more because I can bend them to where I want them to be, but I am using 2 of the red, white, and blue ones. More on this side because, like I said, I have the flag that I'm working around, so if I do it this way, so there's my flag. Okay. When the flag wants to stay.
I'm not verify it, just for me, it's pip berries, P-I-P.
P-I-P. What were you thinking?
Not pit berries, P-I-T. It's
Yeah,
P-I-P.
not pit.
Yeah.
No, pip. And that's why I said they come from the pip plant. I was like, no, I honestly don't know where pip berries come from. I don't think they're a berry. I was going to research that so I would have a fun fact. Fun fact, pip berries, if you didn't know. Let's take this one and put it on the outside. Okay, so trying to dip. Okay. So we're just kind of layering them so they look like a spray. Are you researching that, Steve?
Yes.
Steve's going to tell us, do pip berries come from a plant? Or are pip berries just berries and then they wire them together? I don't know. Okay. Let me add a couple more of these to the outside. So I'll cut 1, 2, 3.
So the pip berries are actually little seed buds that swell out of the branches of certain trees in early spring, called pip berries.
How?
Pip berries can be used for decorative purposes, often come from the Welch elm and willow trees. But they can come from a number of trees as well. You can find artificial pip berries at craft stores. Yeah.
That is interesting. And we have a giant willow tree in the back, in the front.
Yeah.
Right? So this is how you use pip berries.
So yeah, she's using the pip berries from Hobby Lobby, right?
Yes, and the ones that I've purchased.
And the custom ones that she purchased, yes.
Yeah, I just had a few of those left. Just a few.
Hi, Jeannie.
Okay. So now, let me take this. Since I used one. Ooh, look, there's a couple right here. So I'm going to put these to good use. Because I don't have many of these. So I'll make this one fan to the inside. And maybe the reason why we don't get burned so much from the glue on the glue skillet is because our hands are kept so far away from what we're gluing.
Oh, Diana said there's a website that sells the berry branches called Factory Direct. We might have to check that out.
I know, right? More fun facts. So see how I'm just a handful of ones at the very, very top. So a lot more at the bottom, very few at the top. You can see the ones from Hobby Lobby, the berries kind of just fall off on their own. So that's a shame because you can't glue them back on. So that's that. And now we will add our bow. Make sure I keep all of my tags. So our bow, sorry babe, your pop is done. We're gonna do this 2.5 inch. I call it Stars and Stripes because I don't know what else you would call it. But it's from Hobby Lobby. And they sell it not in the seasonal section. This is in their everyday section. So save yourself because this week will be florals. So the week after is all ribbon and deco mesh. This week, well, through tomorrow is still, well, you can pick it up tomorrow if you go tomorrow. That's where this is. So we're gonna add this. So I want a little bit, I'm thinking I want like 12-inch tails. Yeah. So, okay, Steve, how good are you? How long is that?
That's about 14.
Dang. Like, you're so right on it. It's like scary. I was like, exactly 14. Okay, so Bo Dabra. Just twist and put it in. All it is fingers that are holding your ribbon together. So I don't want my loops too big because I don't have a big, huge space and I don't want to cover a ton of the berries that we just laid in. So let's see. I'm thinking 4.5 inch loops, maybe 5.
Gene, a couple of the gals said, Diana just said there's one called Factory Direct.
That sells them?
Yeah, and then Levita said they also have about any color combination you could think of. And then most of the time they have 20% off the garland as well.
Wow.
And Diana says they're $1.49 a branch. So I don't know if they just are singular.
This is, yeah. Is it just one, like, is it just one cluster? Like, is it just one? Like, it's not just going to be one like this, Steve. It's going to be like a whole branch.
Right.
So, like this, I'm guessing. No? I don't know.
Yeah.
You'd have to look at the picture, and then what I would always do before I go crazy and order a bunch is just order.
Diana, could you say, if you look at the $1.49 a branch, could you say how many singular stems are on that branch?
Or does it look like you can tell?
Or does it look like you can tell? Is it like a dozen or so? Or
like maybe 3 or 4?
Yeah.
But then here's the thing, right? Hobby Lobby's was cheap at $3.99 for theirs, but it has no movement. If you need it to bend, you have no movement there. You're stuck in that static position,
Right.
which sucks when you're using Pip Berries, because it means that all you can do with them is here we go.
Oh, that's great, Angela. She said, I bought and used the Pro Bow for the first time ever last night and watched your whale wreath video to help.
Okay.
Turned out great for my first try. I was so intimidated that I refused to buy it for months.
You know, and it is.
Good job.
It's very intimidating because I don't use it that much because it's so much to take out. But like I said, if I want the perfect bow, if I want exact like measurements, then I'm going to use that one. But if I was to show that on a live, it's so time consuming to show because you have to pull everything out and then you've got to put all your dowels in. And this one I'm like, it'd be like me asking Steve, hey, can you hold this for a sec?
So Diana said it looks like there's 9 to 10 branches to a stem.
Okay. So what I would do is I would order a couple sets, you know, pay whatever the shipping and handling will be. Like it's got to be like under, like I would say between $5 and $7. When you get them, roll them around your finger. Do they stay or do they just go and pop like the Hobby Lobby ones do?
Right.
If so, if you just need them to lay flat, then it's great. But if you need them to bend and kind of arc, then you need the ones with the wire. So, and it probably doesn't say wired like Pip Berries, right?
Yep. Diana added the link, but
okay.
because we're on the video, you can't really pull up the link.
Yeah, everyone else can.
Probably.
So everything with the Bodabra is just twist.
Good night, Bobby.
And put in. So these ones, I'm going to bring these ones into about 3.5 inches. So I did 4.5 inch loops on the 2.5 inch ribbon from Hobby Lobby. And then these ones are coming in at 3.5. Both with 14-inch tails, because it's going to be at the bottom so it can cascade down, and then we will be good.
Right, yeah. Andrew said the Pip Berries from Craft Outlet are wired, but they're a continuous strand.
Oh, okay. So.
Good night, Zelma. She said I'm going to have to go. My battery's low.
I
Have
totally
a great weekend.
understand.
She said love the wreath.
Exactly. Have an amazing weekend. So, dovetail. For those of you that are first-time viewers, you're just going to take your wired edges, fold them together, and then you're going to cut from the folded side to the tip of your ribbon. And then that will give you a perfect dovetail. Or ducktail. Or pigeon tail.
Diana says it says they are wired. They're just on sale regularly $2.79.
See, and that's what Hobby Lobby says, is they say these are wired, but they're not wired as in like...
Could be like a rubber wire, or a plastic wire. And
but
so
like, that's the only way I could get them to bend, is like, I would have to like put a corner in it, and then there you go. But it'll work in a pinch.
Sherry says they also have Americana Pip Berries.
I love Americana. I'm just sold. I think it's because I grew up in my dad's home, or not grew up in my dad's home, but when I would go to my dad's house, his home was always decorated in Americana. So the entire house, all the rooms, Americana. So I'm just going to make my bow. I'm going to slap it on there nicely, and then we'll add our star. So the nice thing about the grapevines that don't have a ton of debris in them is you can take them and bring them down perfectly where they need to be. I don't have to use my butter knife or my large flathead screwdriver. So I'm just going to keep those there. Make sure our tails are facing down. It's going to cover up some of our Pip Berries. but not a lot. So we'll just angle these so our tails are down. They're down south. And then we'll fluff. Because we have, I just did 2 loops on both sides because it's more of a lower ribbon, I guess. So I don't need to have it in a wide variety of places. So since that one's up, I try to position them so they're in between all of the different types. Making sure that our bows stay nice and pretty. Got to keep our flag at the angle it's supposed to be, which is sideways. Because I have a tendency of going up and down, but no, side to side. So this is how I got it to do it. You'd put two wrinkles in it and then pull the corner. The corner down, and then it kind of will wrinkle on its own, like so. Okay, star. Wow. Now the star is going to get hidden. Might have to put it over here. Because look what happened. Yeah. It was supposed to go right in the middle.
Let's sit over on that side.
I like it on the side. Which makes it easier to attach to the wreath. So, because this is a 1/4 inch at least, I can go ahead and attach this with pipe cleaners and then run them below and then kind of position that up, and then that way the Pip Berries looks like it's kind of spraying away from the star. So that's why I brought staple gun.
Yep, sure. So I'd like the star there on the corner. Deborah, she got the Grapevine Wreath from Joann's. It's 18 inch.
They have the best grapevines. So I'm only attaching my stars at the very bottom with pipe cleaners, just like so. And then I'll attach the other one to the corner. This way I don't have to worry about, like, is it gonna fall off? Is it gonna stay on?
I think you need to remind me too, because I think we need to buy more 1/4 inch staples.
Okay.
I think we're getting low.
Echo. Add 1/4 inch staples to the shopping list.
1/4 inch staples added to your shopping list.
That's how you don't forget anything. So what I've done is just I've added that to the bottom. If you wanted to, you could add a dab of glue, but it's going all the way into that wood. It's completely flush. I don't need to worry about it coming out. So let me flip this around. And we're gonna add our star. And thank God there's a really nice giant branch. And that's right where it's gonna sit.
Libby, we got the staple gun, I believe, from Lowe's.
It did.
It's called a Power Shot. It's on her affiliate link. I think you might be able to order it on Amazon too.
I think so. It's a Black & Decker Power Shot. So
it's ergonomic, so it's a lot easier to push down and
yeah, it's not lifting up, it's pushing down. Yeah. So it's not like doing this where you're having to pull. You're just body weight to the front, which makes it so much easier. Okay. Yay, and there's another branch right here. This worked out perfect. See? Sometimes designs just work out the way they're meant to.
Jessica, so most wood signs are at least a 1/4 inch thick or thicker. So you just have to make sure you only get a 1/4 inch staples. That way they don't go through the sign. Yes.
Like, I wouldn't have been able to use it on something like that thin, but because this is tin, I could have used the metal hole punch and punched the holes in wherever I was going to attach my stars.
Right. So that's what the 1/4 inch staples are. They're basically the shortest staples you can get, I think.
So, and then we're just tucking that down. I will refluff my bow.
And that's almost done.
And then that's it. That's all she wrote. It's the short and sweet, simple, but people will ask you, how do you make a patriotic, like a primitive wreath? How do you use pip berries on a wreath? That's just it. So let's put it up. We'll see what it looks like. We will make sure that my star goes the way it's supposed to. That my ribbon hangs where it's supposed to. Still finding glue threads. Okay. My doors. I was like, the door's moving. Okay. So again, depending upon the length of your ribbon, you could spiral it. So if you wanted more movement in your wreath, you could spiral your ribbon tails, just like so. And then just kind of pull them down, or you can let them hang long. You can kind of curl the ends if you want.
Mm-hmm.
There it goes. Now it'll stay.
And you could center it. You could kind of hang it off to an angle like how you have.
Yeah. So, pictures. For picture reasons, I like it to look wrinkled. So, but then I guess
Sheila, the metal hole punch you can also order on Amazon. It's on her affiliate link. It's the Bead Master.
hole punch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 1.5 millimeter beadsmith.
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 Yeah, 1.5 millimeter hole punch.
But that's it.
You could probably even go to a 2.0 millimeter because it's for the
short and simple.
Yeah.
Something easy, but looks like a ton of fun.
Yeah. Interesting. Tracy said, "Hey Kat, do you know about the words that you're not allowed to say during a Facebook Live?"
Like?
I've heard like 3 or 4 people bring it up in their lives today. They said, if Facebook catches you, then they put you in Facebook jail.
So
I'm
what
so
are the
confused
words?
because I said they start with an I and an S, which I'm assuming S is for share, but I can't figure out the I. Don't say them out loud because I definitely don't want you.
Oh, I wouldn't be concerned
They're
with
not-
Facebook share because if you think
Sharing
about it,
is part of, yeah.
it's at the bottom of the thing. So I think they just don't want you to encourage people to do that. They want people to do it on their own. And that's why some people will change the words and say, feel free to bless me, which is taking the S-H-A-R-E word, and instead of saying it, they're changing the word. So feel free that if you guys want to like, share, comment, feel free. It's easier for you guys if you're looking for instructions on how to do this video rather than look through my feed, which gets super busy by next week Friday. You can always go to YouTube. That's usually the easiest way because you don't have to filter through all the other stuff. This will be on YouTube probably tonight, if not tomorrow morning. The materials list for all this stuff will be available for my private group. The list will go up tonight if I can get to it. Sunday we're all off. Monday we're on chapter 19 of our book club. For the life of me, I can't remember what the chapter is called. It's really good. So we've got 2 more of those finished. And then I will be posting the schedule at the beginning of the week. So Sunday night, I will post whatever we're going to be doing for the week, like what's happening Monday, where can you find it? What's happening Friday, where can you find it? What's happening Sunday, where can you find it? And then that way, if you ever want to make a decision to join the private group or not join the private group, because there might be something coming up that you want to watch and take part of in the tutorial, you're welcome to do that. If you want information about my private group, just go to my website, which is KatsCreations, the letter N, more.com. Scroll to the bottom and you'll see there's a document that It explains all the features, all the benefits, and then a link on how to sign up if you're curious and want to participate. And that's about it, I think. So have a great Easter, everybody. Hopefully this type of design will make something easy for you if you're ever challenged, because these wreath ideas are full all over like Pinterest and what is it? Not so much Etsy.
Instagram.
Yeah, some Instagram.
Maybe Pinterest, yeah.
But the Americana vintage, they call it primitive now. So if you were to look up primitive Americana grapevine, this is likely what you'll find.
And the good thing about the Americanas or the rustic is you don't need to put a lot into it. It's supposed to be simple.
It's supposed to stay simple, yeah. So we're not going to do fireworks and Uncle Sam hats and signage. I mean, you could get a very rustic sign, you know, that's hand lettered or something and incorporate that. But that's the rustic look. That's the primitive look right now.
And then Shirley asked, how much would you charge?
This one,
Since it's a simpler wreath.
believe it or not, is $60. Even though it's simple, Pip Berry price.
Yeah.
So even though I used a couple branches of the, whatchamacallit, the Hobby Lobby, it's the more expensive bendable one. So unfortunately
Well,
this
the one branch by itself was $10, right?
$8. Yeah.
and then
I used two of them.
The wreath was what, 6?
7.
7?
Yeah.
And the flag is 10.
Yep.
So,
So when
yeah.
you start looking at prices, I don't know. And the crazy thing is these are pricing right now at like $124, $125, and I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like, where are you coming up with the cost on that? And the only thing I could think of is they bought all like high-end Pip Berries and just use those and completely, all they do is they wrap it around like the garland you guys were talking about. They just take the garland and they wrap it around, throw a bow on it, throw a flag on it, and get $125 for it. So, I don't know.
And it really only took you about an hour. It could have taken you a lot less, but yeah, about an hour.
Had I cleaned the
time
wreath
start.
before we went live? Yeah, maybe half hour, 40 minutes
Yeah.
or so. All right. Well, you guys have a great Easter, and I will talk to everybody else Monday at noon. Don't know what we're talking about, but Sunday. And then if you want to get on my email list, same thing, go to KatsCreationsNMore.com, go to the bottom, sign up for the email list, because that's how I send out what we're going to be doing, great links that you can benefit from, special notices, that kind of stuff. Just depends on how you want to be notified.
Susan
All right.
asks, is that a centerpiece in the back? It's just a vase with kind of like a little centerpiece, but just made
That was Steve's thing. That's called floral in a jar with 2 flags.
Yep.
And then you see my rose wreath that I just put on the counter. So
And
it
then-
kind of looks like a centerpiece.
Christy asked, she probably came a little bit late, did you glue the cloth part of the flag?
No.
No.
Because there's some people who will want it to move on their front door, so
Yeah.
I would just leave it as is. But for pictures, I would stage it like this, which is how everybody else does.
Right.
So that it falls in that type of pattern.
Right. She did wire the top of the flag stick to the grapevine though.
Yeah.
At the top.
This part won't come up. It won't flop.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Have a great weekend, everyone. Talk to you
Easter.
soon. Happy Easter. Happy Resurrection Day.